was Ruthless by Law. We like, oh yeah, let's do that. And I ended up was like, man, it's a little too long.
Yeah.
It's Ruthless by Law as the name. So I was like, man, we just gonna be RBL Posse.
That's it.
So we ended up going down there, and man, the rest was history. We got down there to TC, and that's when we ended up starting on that Lesson to Be Learned album.
Okay.
And got juiced up, and started running into sell skis, and like y'all told in the same. I was working on y'all album at the time, and
I was just
y'all was a big motivation to us too, because we heard some of y'all tracks. TC was letting us hear. I'm like, ooh, wait a minute, ooh, them samples, and ooh, man, see, like, I'm like, okay, and that made me dig harder. Made me. I was like, ooh, we got to step it up. You know what I mean?
Well,
I was like, oh man.
I'm gonna tell you, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. Out of anybody from that time that was in the music game, y'all was our biggest inspiration, because whenever we went in the studio, and because I remember when we was recording direct from the back street, and y'all was there all the time. That's how we met y'all. And then when he started working on y'all shit, and we was hearing the tracks y'all was coming with, I was like, damn. And then I heard Bammer Weed, and then I heard, I think I heard Remind Me was like one of the first songs that I heard that y'all recorded. And I think I heard it right after y'all recorded. And I was like, man, these niggas on some other shit right here. You know what I'm saying? So y'all made us step our game up also. So, you know what I'm saying?
It's like we like inspired and motivated each other, because I'm telling you, when me and Mr. C heard y'all, we was like, okay. Like I said, we was like 2-3 songs in, and then I'm seeing how TC was able to blend samples.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's when I went back, and I think Sorta Like a Psycho was one of the first songs we did, blending a lot of samples.
Yeah.
So we knew, like, okay, I can step into the AM, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From
mixing
searching them, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'm like, I can throw salt and pepper on the top of that, and I can use some of the digital underground. Like, TC know how to blend it. I'm like, oh, so I started using some of my favorite songs that I was liking, and started using some of they loops and throwing it in, and that was behind us hearing y'all stuff. I'm like, man, TC, wow. Like, okay, wait a minute. So I just started going crazy in the studio, because we didn't have that capability when we was up in my studio. We had we was doing stuff live, and had like an SP12 that only was able to record like 3.5 seconds. You had to speed the sample up and all that, and we couldn't really get that much in there, and it was only a 4-track, so we was overlapping tracks and all that stuff with the 4-track to record, and you know what I mean, do all that. So man, it was like heaven getting into TC when we knew we had all that leverage, man, in that studio and that computer. I was like, oh man, he got this Apple, he got this computer, this Atari computer down here. Oh man.
Yeah, that nigga's amazing, man. That nigga's amazing.
Amazing.
So you and Mr. C hooked up. Y'all recorded A Lesson to Be Learned. That shit blew the fuck up. As soon as y'all, I was there. I witnessed the shit. As soon as y'all niggas tapes came back, that shit was off the shelf. So I knew y'all blew up from day one. So now y'all, okay, you and Mr. C hook up. Y'all put out A Lesson to Be Learned. The shit blow up. Everybody bumping it everywhere. So now in the streets, I'm pretty sure people was looking at you different in the neighborhood, because y'all RBL Posse now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't just no Harbor Road rappers that's slanging tapes out of the 3rd Street Market. Y'all niggas is nationwide at this time. Y'all, okay. How did y'all get introduced to In a Minute Records?
Well, that was all TC.
Okay.
TC had what happened was we put out the first 1,000 tapes. I had talked to TC because I knew that y'all was over there working on a deal or something.
Right.
With Jason and them over In a Minute. And I had got at TC like, man, how can we get ours, put out or distributed or get a deal or whatever? And he was like, what you want to do is try to gain some ground. He was like trying to explain to us, like kind of make some noise so he would want to sign us and all that. So we was like, okay, this was prior to us hitting the streets really, really hard. What I did was I pressed up 1,000 CDs. I went out, gave some away, sold a couple, left some on consignment at 3rd Street, went down there on Mission Street, left some over there. I was just going everywhere, up and down Mission, over by Lakeview, to certain stores, just leaving them. And they just went like, wow, man, just blew out the water.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden, people started asking for more. You know what I mean? So we went and pressed up. This was the Music Annex back then. They were doing the pressing up.
Yep.
We went to Music Annex, pressed up another 5,000, and then that's when TC like hit me like blood. People calling Intermittent Records, asking them for the CD. Now you probably go over there and do the deal with Jason and Wu. I'm like, man, y'all my cuisine, you know, hook it up for me. And he like, all right. So TC set up the whole little thing for us to go over there and hook up with Jason. So we went up there. He like, man, people buying this, but wanting this stuff like crazy. I got stores calling me, asking me, do I carry it? Do I have it? What can we do? And we like left him the 5,000 CDs. We left him that. They went in a week.
Yeah.
You know, he called us a week later like, man, let's do a deal. Y'all ready to do a deal? And we like, yeah, we happy as hell. He like, man, all right. And what's crazy is he was paying us for the 5,000 CDs, you know, the $5 on from that, which is about 25,000. And then he offered us another 10 on top. And see, that's what really lured us in. We would never have signed with Jason for 10,000, but him paying us all our money up front plus throwing that 10 on top made it like, you know, made us rub our hands together like, ooh, that's 35,000, man. That's right. Man, let's do it. He ready to pay us for all them CDs at one time, which was selling anyway. You know what I mean? They were selling out, but we didn't notice at the time. He was like, man, I'm ready to just pay y'all the $5 up front for each CD, and I'm ready to give y'all extra 10 on top to sign. And he was like, y'all got a lawyer, I got a lawyer. So he ended up giving us a lawyer, his own lawyer, the whole nine. So I mean, it was a shitty deal, but at the time, we street niggas, we ain't even tripping. We don't care.
Right.
We like, man, we just happy to get somebody that's going to put this stuff out, and I ain't got to use my money, because I was putting up my own money at the time. You know what I mean? So I was just happy that somebody wanted it and ready to give me 10,000. I'm like, man, you know what I mean? How long it take me to make that on the block? I'm like, man, shit, man, let's do it. You know what I mean? So
looking back,
yeah, and that's what happened.
Looking back, do you think that you could have handled RBL success being independent like that?
Yeah, I could have, but I just wasn't up on game. If I would have had somebody with more experience, or if like, just say it was a year later after TC had did the deal with y'all, and we would have learned from somebody else's mistake, I would have knew. But we had nobody to follow behind. We had nobody in front of us we could learn from.
Right.
Like even with IMP and them, we wasn't that close. We knew Krug, but we wasn't that close with him at the time. Because I think even him, they was independent. I don't think they ended up even had, you know, experience with a label at the time. So we didn't have nobody to go to and be like, nah, but keep it independent. Don't do that. Don't sign. You know what I mean? Don't do none of that, man. You can do this yourself. You just sold 1,000.
Yeah.
You know, they just came and bought another 5,000 off you, man. You might as well just keep it going like that. We didn't have nobody to tell us that, so we just looking at it like, man, that's an extra 10 on top of this 25 you ready to pay us. When we want that, we'd be stupid not to take that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, and at the time, I'm already only working with a couple thousand. I probably had 5,000 in my pocket. I'm fresh out of Log Cabin Ranch. I just got back on the streets. I really wasn't making too much money.
Using grind,
you know, so it was like, shit, why not? You know what I mean? It's going to put me up right now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I you know, looking back at it now, I probably would have did the same thing unless I would have had somebody to tell me something different. You know what I mean? Motivate me to keep it independent. But, you know, we live and we learn, and, you know, and Jason did help because he did, even though we didn't really get paid like we were supposed to, he did take it to the next level to where we was able to make money off shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. True that. So y'all signed it in a minute.
You know.
Y'all put out Lesson to Be Learned. That shit was a mega success. Now it's time for the second album, for Ruthless by Law. Hold on, let me rewind. When did you meet Hitman and how?
I met Hitman. He was a little young dude walking back and forth through Harbor. He had moved over there from Sunnydale. The little Harbor niggas used to be chasing him around, chasing him off. You know, because back then, the little Frisco gang wars was going on. That's how I lost my eye, and you know, I went to Log Cabin. I was getting tired with all type of guns. It was like a lot of gang banging shit going on prior to me getting into music. So Hitman ended up coming over there, and we had just, right before the album dropped anyway, we had just made a truce with everybody. We brought Sunnydale niggas over there, Filmo, and me and my boy Nar Temple stopped all that Frisco war shit that was going on between Filmo, Hunters Point. Now I was able to really kick it with JT, the bigger figure, and them, and the whole nine, and all that, we all became family and got cool. You know, that's when all the shows was popping off at the Stone and all that. So
yeah,
Hitman came over there, and the little young niggas was still, you know, shit trickled down. When you get the funk and shit trickled down to the younger generation, and they was chasing Hitman back and forth to the house and the whole nine. But then my boy Mars was a little producer who was trying to kind of mimic what I was doing with the younger dudes. He had a little studio. He had a lot of rappers over there. He the one that brought me NOH. He the one that started. He the one that brought me everything that was got had something to do with Right Way. You know, that's why I love Mars to this day. He still doing the music over there with his thing. You know what I mean? But he brought me in. He like, yeah, man. He like, why don't you listen to this little demo tape? And I'm like, who is it? He like, man, it's all my little youngsters on here who be in the studio with me. You know, he the same age as them, but he was like, you know, these is all youngsters that I hang with. He didn't say my youngsters, but he was like, all the youngsters, you know, who be in and out my studio. You might like him. He's like, man, especially Hitman. He said, Hitman, like as soon as I put him on, the first song came on, I'm like, oh, man. He like, damn, you like a chocolate you messing with the crew and all this and that. I'm like, damn, he was using stuff from TV rhymes and he was animated. I'm just like, wow, like, damn, like, dude, like, this dude lyrical as hell. Mr. C, like, blood, he dope. Mr. C always liked lyrics, you know what I mean? Yeah. He was into all that, you know what I mean? So he was like, dude, we need a man. Because you might want to get him. So I'm like, where he at? He like, he the young dude that be coming through here. He's like, man, all them be chasing him home. He can't really hang out, so he go straight home and he'll go out the back and he be taking a little back trail to my house and he hang out at my house. And I'm like, what? I'm like, bring him up on Harbor, man. All that's gonna stop today. So they brought him up there and I had him rapping at my car and shit. All the little youngsters started coming down there, kind of like, what are you doing over there at Frisco? I'm like walking down, trying to peep the scene, ready to get on his line. And I jumped out and told him, I'm like, you know, man, it's over with today. Man, we about to put Hitman on, all this other stuff. Y'all chasing him back and forth and done, and man, that's over with. So the youngsters respected it. They like, oh man, yeah, it's good, it's cool. And then we had him at the studio. I think probably that following week we started working on stuff.
So y'all,
and I think the first one we did was like Listen to My Creep.
Oh yeah,
that was one of the first songs that we did a couple songs solo for him, but then we started working on our Ruthless by Law album.
Okay, yeah.
So
I was going to ask you.
We ended up doing Listen to My Creep.
So so during did Hitman album come out before Ruthless by Law or?
No, it came out after.
After Ruthless. Okay. Let me rewind.
Yeah.
I'm about to get into that right now. So y'all signed In a Minute. A Lesson to Be Learned is popping. Y'all start working on Ruthless by Law. Ruthless by Law is finished. Did Mr. C pass before Ruthless by Law came out, right?
Nah, it came out in '94.
Okay.
And he died in '96, like 2 years after. So he was out doing Hitman Rain and all that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Ruthless by Law dropped. You're right, because y'all did, you're right, my bad. Because y'all did Bounce to This video, Bluebird on My Shoulder. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ruthless by Law hit the streets. This is the official release on In a Minute Records. And I remember when that shit dropped, that shit was popping. You know what I'm saying? Immediately. Motherfuckers was waiting for that shit to drop. You know, from the success of Lesson to Be Learned, motherfuckers was waiting for that shit to drop. This shit really changed for y'all when Ruthless by Law dropped?
You said did it what?
This shit really changed for y'all when Ruthless by Law dropped?
Yeah. That's what caused the...
Was it a different level?
It changed on the block, really. It didn't really change for us because we were still on the block, but friends people started getting a little jealous and looking at us different because now we got like people like E40 and them passing through, coming through the hood, and Sebo and them coming through, and people looking. So it's a lot of little jealousy started happening behind Hitman and Mr. C. Not really with me, but they was kind of jealous of the relationship that I had with the newbies. They still looked at them as like new dudes up there. You know what I mean? Because they didn't really grow up up on the hill with us.
Right.
They all came later on. So that started that's the only thing that changed. But us out on the street, you know, because I was always respected on the street from just hustling to gang banging, and now they're like, damn, now he doing the music and he doing that shit good. So it's like I was always looked up to as a big homie, respected, and the whole nine around there. You know what I mean? Even to this day.